Hi, thanks for clicking on my video. I wanted to give you an update on my garden. I've been gone for 2 weeks. It's been probably a month since I shot my last garden video. While I was gone, Blake took pretty good care of everything. Outside, that is. My indoor plants didn't make it, mostly. I have my jade plant and that's all that's left. Out here, things are going kind of wild. I wanted to put in my fall garden today. Today's August 1st, but I ran into a bit of a hiccup as Amber and I were expanding the garden beds. I sprained my wrist using the hand tiller. So that put a temporary stop on the expansion. But I thought I could still take you around and show you all the hard work we've put in. And we've put a lot of hard work in the last 2 days. So let me take you around. So let's start here. These are my eggplant, and I have a ton of aphids. I don't know what to do about the aphids. I've never had aphids. Despite all of the aphids and the deer eating my hollyhock, I think things in this bed are pretty okay. My rosemary, or that's my lavender, looks great. My cabbages, my basil, I cut off a ton of basil yesterday to dry, and I still have a bunch growing. Doesn't look like it's gonna bolt, so I'm pretty excited. Maybe I'll make some pesto at home. The cabbages are looking rough. They should have formed heads by now, but we had some extreme heat. These are my turnips and radishes and beets. Also not looking super great. I think it was the extreme heat. However, the carrots are looking really good. My chamomile is just the happiest thing right now. It is making me so happy. It smells like green apples and honey. It's my favorite. I could just smell it for hours. Next year I'm definitely planting twice the amount of chamomile at least. Let's see. The onions, let me see if I can get a shot. The onions are starting to develop bulbs and skins, and they look like they're doing really well. You can see there. So soon we'll have some nice looking onions. This is my lemon verbena. We cut about half of it off to dry yesterday. This is my sage. We halved the amount of sage that was growing. It looks a little bit bug eaten, but we've been cutting a bunch of herbs to dry. My thyme, we cut back immensely. It was all over, and it smells great. Here's my rosemary. Again, we cut that down pretty significantly. This is my, whatchamacallit. Oh, those are my radishes. Tarragon. The word I was thinking of is tarragon. Let me start in the first bed. So this should look pretty familiar. We've got pumpkins and kale and squash and chard. I pulled out the cauliflower. We've got my dragon tongue bush beans, tomatoes. While I was gone, we had quite a deer invasion. I'm going to show you. She demolished my tomatoes. If you recall from previous videos, these tomatoes were huge and full of flowers and tomatoes. This is about a week after she came through and helped herself to each and every tomato plant. She stripped them to the point where I'm not sure I'm going to get tomatoes off of them. These are the Cherokee purple tomatoes that I just had so many of. I can't believe the damage one deer did in here. I'm hoping to salvage them. As you can see, I have one tomato, but my hopes are not super high that I'll get to eat it based on history. Down here are my poblanos. They are growing still, which is good. They seem to have been saved by their spiciness. This is my banana pepper. Got 3 banana peppers. She ate the top off of that one. But we've been harvesting the peppers. This is the orange bell pepper. These are the dragon tongue bush beans, which she stripped also. Let's see. The pumpkins, I think they're stressed. I believe the yellow spots on the pumpkins mean they need more nitrogen, so I need to feed them. We don't have any pumpkins developing, but they're still growing and flowering. We have been harvesting squash off of these plants. Again, they're yellow. It could be from the heat. This is my Vortex pole bean. They produce really long French fillet beans. Amber built this really awesome teepee for the beans to grow up. You can see the garden no longer ends with the pole beans. We planted more beans back there. This is my cucumber. Also, we gave it a teepee to grow up with some scrap wood. And I've got some baby cukes coming on, which is exciting. Let me take you over to the addition. So over here, this is all a variety of beans. We're going to have the pole beans growing up the teepee, and then we've got a variety of bush beans. We decided to move the fence back to include the plum tree because the deer has just demolished this poor plum tree. So that means I was able to add a row of rainbow chard. This is spinach, lettuce, another spinach, and then Amber put in 2 rows of kale. Again, this has all been done within the last 24 hours. We haven't planted this, but I tilled it all this morning. We're going to put a walkway here and do probably root vegetables on the side. This is bed number 2, which is now part of the main bed. Got some sunflowers that got eaten by the deer, but my watermelon we put on a teepee and it looks very happy. This is the Carne de Noir melon, and oh look, there's some tomatoes. Those are the Mexican midgets. These are the Carne de Noir melons. I'm very excited to see that I have 3 on this plant and hopefully more soon on this teepee. I also have the Blacktail Mountain watermelon coming up. I've got some sunflowers that survived the deer. The squash are huge. It looks like my tomatoes in this bed, or this half of the bed now, are starting to make a comeback. I'm not sure what to do about support. They're all tangled together. I might just let them go. Coming over here, we've got the Roma tomatoes that have been just hacked. This is the Blacktail Mountain watermelon, and there's my baby melon. Isn't she a beaut? So, my squash, I just love the way the sun hits it. From this angle, I could sit out all day. This is that yellow cherry tomato. So that would be all of... So this is all of the second bed. You can see I've got a patty pan squash coming on. This is all going to be tilled. I started tilling it. You can see where I sprained my wrist with about 2 feet left to till. But yeah, everything looks great, but the star is probably my zinnias. They have just some beautiful color. I really need to deadhead them, collect some seeds, but they're just the stars, I think, of the garden. If you want to envision this, we're going to put a gate here this weekend to help keep the deer out, and we're going to extend the fence on both sides, so it'll be completely enclosed, which I really think is a good thing.